Hi, so I just wanted to give you a little heads up about what Choir Baton is, how you can operate the account this next week and have some fun with it. So Choir Baton is an Instagram handle that different choir directors get the password to each day. So when it's your day to take over Choir Baton, I will send you the password to log into the account. Sometimes it asks for a verification code, in which case it's really easy. It just texts the code to me, and so you'll have my cell phone number, and if that happens, then I will just shoot you the verification code and you'll log in. It really is easy. It takes 2 seconds. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Hey, excuse me. Hey. Okay, sorry. So then you log in for your takeover day. And a couple things you might want to do if you regularly run an Instagram, even if it's your personal Instagram account or a choir Instagram account, it's usually a good idea to let people know that you're not going to be posting there for the day, that you're going to be over at Choir Baton posting there so they can go follow you. And ultimately, ideally, they will start to follow Choir Baton too, and then they'll get to see other choirs across the country and ultimately across the world as well. So, a little fun thing there. When it's time to start hosting, I think my biggest tip to share is that you can't share too much. Some of my favorite takeovers have been by choir directors that have just truly shared everything and anything. I think one of the coolest things about this is it gives you an opportunity to not just learn about choir, but about the people also. So don't be afraid to show people what your commute to work is like. What is it like when you enter the building? What is your room set up like? What's your schedule like? What are you eating for breakfast? I don't know, something like that. I think again, you really can't share anything too much in this sense, okay? Key things that people have shared in the past, like one of the first guys that took over, he did he like literally would go live at various points during the day and show what his room looked like, had different kids talking about why they liked choir. Some teachers showcase just a couple warm-ups. Sometimes they will show a special song that they're singing. Sometimes they'll ask feedback. Maybe it's a sight reading thing. I mean, again, the goal is just for someone to see what choir is like outside of their general rehearsal space by observing another choir example. So that's like the biggest scope of it that I would encourage you to do. And ultimately, you also have people in your choir that are big Instagram users as well. So if you have questions, have them do some videoing or ask them for help. If you do a super long video, a lot of times people like to see captions written underneath it because people watch Instagram stories when they shouldn't be or when other stuff is going on, so they will then read the captions of things. Also, people on Choir Baton that are following it might ask you questions, and feel free to jump into the messages and start responding to those questions and really use it as a key to interact with the choir community on this account. And finally, at the end of the day, whether you're doing one rehearsal or you're doing your whole day, and if you're like a school teacher and you have a school day and then you go and do something after, like do that too. I started to say there's no rules, but there are just some guidelines to be mindful of. I'll tell you about that in just a second. But you really just get to show your day. Guidelines, if you don't have consent for a minor to video them, please don't put them in the video, just out of safety. But you can also, you don't have to you can put them, but you don't have to do their face, right? So you could do it from shoulders down or just do their feet or something like that. And if you do have parental permission, then that's another thing. I require all my kids, well, I don't require them to have permission, but I have permission on file if they can or cannot be on social media for purposes like this, because it's ultimately recruitment and professional development and an educational tool as well. It's not just on social media for social media's sake. So that is the biggest thing that I would ask that you just be mindful of recording minors. Secondly, use stories, use live, but also don't forget to post stuff too. People use social media in a multitude of different ways. Sometimes people only look at stories. Sometimes people only look at feeds. Sometimes they look at a mix of both. So again, there's no limit to what you can post. And sometimes people forget to post on the actual feed itself. That is not a Choir Baton feed. That is a feed for you to use as well and to document your experience with Choir Baton. So I hope that's kind of the gist, the overall thing of it. I got the idea from an account we have here in Raleigh called the RDU Baton, which is ironically now a little defunct, but it was the same sort of premise, except it was people that all lived in this area, and each person would have the day and they would show you your favorite coffee place or where they love to get lunch from, or maybe a favorite park they had or something like that. And I loved it and found so many really cool places from that account. And I thought, gosh, we should do something like this for choir, because so many choirs are so different and similar and unique, and this will give us a chance to really connect with a greater community in this space. So I hope that helps. I'm so excited that you're going to be taking over the Choir Baton account. Do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions, either on Instagram or shoot me a text message. And I'm excited for your takeover. Have fun. That's first and foremost. Like, have fun. And it can be a little vulnerable to do this, but I guarantee once you start posting stuff, people start responding, and you just fall in love with interacting with people in this environment. Even someone who, like me, who's like kind of introverted, I really love being able to connect with people this way. So thanks again for being a part of this project, and I'm looking forward to your takeover.